Greetings, family. This is Brother Ron. You are listening to and watching We All Be News, news-free Dixie for the 21st century. Can you dig it? Greetings, family. This is your brother, Brother Ron, and we all be in it to win it. I want to provide you all an update. I think it was very, very important that I do this so-called update to keep you tuned out, to tune in, to get in where you fit in with We All Be concerning Brother Ron's big right toe. Tic-tac-toe, Brother Ron's big right toe. Just want to give a testimony. I am a miracle. You are a miracle, but I want to show you how God is great. God is real. God is real. God is real. Let me tell y'all, the same time this week I was laid up, the same time last week around this time I was laid up in a hospital bed. My first time staying at a hospital overnight as it relates to my own care. I can never recall staying in a hospital for a medical emergency. And that's what happened October 12th, 2024, Saturday night. My big right toe exploded like popcorn, like a pimple. What happened? Well, I think I was dealing with a bout of either cellulitis, gout, or something else. I mean, a lot of things mimic each other in the so-called medicine field. And I would say this, around noon on Thursday, I started developing chills, a throbbing headache, and chills, throbbing headache, and a high fever while I was working. This just came out of nowhere, but also I was dealing with my right foot in particular, and right leg was swollen or was swelling, and it kind of blew up on me around Thursday. I was trying to keep an eye on it because sometimes, your legs can swell, taking on fluid, and sometimes if you do a little bit more moving around, it can work it out, And so I thought, well, this too shall pass, but I noticed that my foot was swelling, right leg, right foot swole, chills, fever, headache. And instead of me rushing myself to the ER that Thursday, I decided I'm just going to tough it out. I'll just manage it. But you don't manage life, because life ends up managing you. And like they say, when you make plans, who be laughing? God, that's who. Excuse me. But anyway, I went to a couple of meetings, a couple of gatherings. Really, I should have been in the ER by Thursday night. But what I did was, once I got through running around, I went home and I sweated it out. I went home. I took aspirin throughout the day. I believe it was aspirin or Tylenol, something similar to that, throughout the day and night. And I went to sleep. And on Friday morning, this is October 11th, Thursday was October 10th. Friday morning, October 11th, I felt much better. I sweated it out. I had, sweat in the bed from sweating out the fever and the chills and all that stuff. And I went to work late. I went to work late, but I went to work my 4-hour shift. And I noticed that Thursday night, I forgot to mention that I was getting a clear light pus discharge from my big right toe. It was nothing that concerned me. It was swollen. I saw that, it was like a cut on the toe, and that pus was discharging from the toe. I know, like, what the hell, Brother Ron? Why did you not go to the ER or to the hospital? Because I thought I could manage the situation. So Friday morning, it was still leaking. But what I did was I treated it, put some ointment on it, cleaned it up, whatever, wrapped it up, gauze, and all that stuff. You know how we do. And so, it still was leaking, discharging Friday night. I thought it still was no biggie. I could manage it for a couple of days, just wrap it up. And because I got rid of the fever, the headaches, and all that stuff, not realizing that I was actually near death on Thursday night. And they say God take care of fools and children, right? And I was the biggest fool, because I thought I had it figured out. I could have died on Thursday, October 10th. So fast forward to October 12th. Working on a birthday tribute to Baba Dick Gregory. He was born October 12th, sunrise October 12th, 1932. And he'll celebrate his 92nd heavenly birthday. We lost him and he became a righteous ancestor back on August 19th, 2017. But what's interesting, I'm going to tell you what was interesting. I heard his voice throughout that entire week. Baba Dick Gregory. See, death is not the end. Energy never dies. That's what the end means. Energy never dies. Baba Dick Gregory and other righteous ancestors, thankful to the universe, so God, they talk to me all the time. The dead communicate with the living all the time. A lot of y'all don't be paying attention, but God knows all. But the dead is never dead. The past is never past. But I heard Baba Dick Gregory throughout the day and night of that week leading to my stay in the hospital. He had this quote that stayed with me that I heard in his voice in my head. A free man has no fears. A free man has no fears. A free man has no fears. So I didn't understand or overstand or understand or even understand why I kept on hearing his quote in his voice in my head. But now I figured it out. Baba Dick Gregory was helping to protect me along with the righteous ancestors like Sister Thea Bowman, a servant to God who is on her way to be recognized as a saint in the Catholic Church. And this is another miracle that I will attribute with an assist from Sister Thea Bowman. You know, the Most High, the universe, so God gets all the glory. But I want to acknowledge this divine, righteous ancestor intercessor. They call him intercessor. Sister Thea Bowman helped me. I'm going to tell you why. With Baba Dick Gregory, he said a free man has no fear. So I got rushed, I drove myself with a busted big toe. It's like it was so cartoonic. Because what happened was on Saturday night, I was working on this project to honor Baba Dick Gregory, like I post on social media and whatnot. And I noticed that there was blood seeping from my sock, from my right sock on my right foot. There was blood seeping, like some type of liquid seeping from my sock. Saw that the sock had a pool of blood at the bottom of it. Pulled the sock off and saw that blood was squirting from my big right toe, or what used to look like my big right toe. It was so surreal. The skin was actually hanging from the toe as it was squirting blood. I don't mean to be too graphic, but I want you to understand. I'm saying, my God, I think it's time to go to the emergency room. And my mom was panicking. My aunt, they said, well, you need to get an ambulance. I said, I'm going to drive myself. I didn't answer the phone for my auntie. I was trying to focus on packing up stuff just in case I got to stay a little bit over, not realizing that little bit over will be a week. At the time, I was trying to get some stuff together, trying to make sure everything got turned out and leave the oven on, all that OCD stuff, right? So I drove myself to the emergency room, downtown Memphis. And what was crazy was, even though I put on several pairs of socks on my right foot to keep the pus and blood from dripping everywhere, and it leaked through all that. I had on several pairs of socks on my right foot, but it leaked through all that, and I had wrapped it up the best I could. And so what's crazy was, I thought I'd be seen right away in the emergency room, and I'm waiting like somewhere around 15 hours in the emergency room Saturday night in Memphis with my foot leaking out. Leaking through the bandages. Got to change the bandages. People say, well, Brother Ron, you should have took the ambulance, because if you had took the ambulance to the ER, they would have saw you right away. And no, that's not true, because what I saw was people were taken by ambulance to the ER or to the emergency room and left in the waiting room for hours like me. I don't know how long they had to wait, but I waited almost a day, close to a day, short 9 hours in the ER with liquid and blood leaking. My life force leaking out my foot. At one point I had to get the gauzes and bandages changed, and the nurse just threw a gauze at me to my, here you go, here's a gauze. I need somebody to change it. If I could do it at home, I wouldn't be in the emergency room right now. I need y'all to change and treat my wound, to dress it back up or whatever, and keep, at least keep the blood off the ground, as I wait for 15 hours, as I wait Found out I was seen early late afternoon, Sunday afternoon. It's October 13th. I was checking to the ER, one of their rooms that they use to cut off the curtains. They made a room by putting up curtains and stuff like that. People to know that, you in the emergency room or emergency clinic, as you wait to get a bed in the main hospital, structure, they might set you up in a makeshift room, separating you from another patient with curtains, right? So that's where I was at Sunday night, and doctors started coming in looking at my foot. It did not look so promising. I'm gonna tell y'all something. That foot looked like it was really, really bad. It looked really, really bad. I would not show y'all pictures. It's like a messed up chicken pot pie that got dropped on the ground. That's how my big right toe was looking. Just leaking pus, smelling, all that stuff. Smell, look bad, smell bad. Like I was in a world of trouble. So by Monday, this is a research, hospital. So they brought in students to look at me like a zoo animal as they was poking and prodding me with needles and stuff throughout the day, taking blood samples, blood work, blood pressure, all that stuff. So, some students came in with a doctor to check me out, and I cracked some jokes, but I wasn't that uncomfortable. But I know it's all in the name of science and education, right? Always a lab rat and guinea pig, right? That's the way it works. This is America. But they started right away. Throughout the week I was staying there, I had like anywhere between 3 to 4 to 5 doctors come by my room. The so-called medical experts tell me that big right toe gotta go. The big right toe gotta go. The big right toe gotta go. The big right toe gotta go. I said, hell no. Let's look at some other options. So I was like, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that y'all gonna have to cut off my toe? That it's that far gone? They said, yeah, it's not looking good. We're gonna do an MRI and all that stuff. And I said, okay, but like I said, Baba Dick Gregory was on repeat in my head. A free man has no fears. A free man has no fears. A free man has no fears. So I was not gonna make a life-changing decision based on fear. That'll be the worst way to panic and be in fear. When I think about that quote, it's not saying that a free man has no fears. A free man would not allow their fears to dictate and control the terms of their existence, how they live. Don't let your fear control your life. Don't let your trauma rob you of your story and your glory. Don't let your trauma rob you of your glory or your story. Don't let your trauma rob you of your glory or your story. That's how I look at it. So they had one doctor, a young black guy, I think he was Nigerian American, good looking guy, dreadlocks, dark skin, like he was like Grey's Anatomy's The Next Generation, like one of them TV or movie doctors, like he was from Hollywood, central casting, right? He came in confident, and well, we got to cut the toe off probably, most doubtly. No doubt it's gonna have to be cut off, but we're gonna do an MRI. And what was sad was that my foot doctor, who was a cool cat, he was trying to get an MRI done on my feet a couple months ago, and the insurance company rejected it. But now I wish had they did that, maybe I would not be in the predicament that I was in a couple months later. So it's really an insult. It says a lot about what this Medicare or medical industry complex is really all about. Is it about people or is it about profits? Is it about people? Is it about people or is it about profits? So with that said, what was shocking, most important of all, was that the surgeon that was going to operate on my foot or whatever procedure that we was going to do, he was a guy that helped save my left foot 3 years ago. Matter of fact, he's a fan of my artwork. He brought a lot of my art t-shirts, like t-shirts with my artwork from me. And we actually knew the same people. Matter of fact, his band director in high school was one of my good friends, the late great Emerson Abel Jr., who was a big Jimmy Lonsford super fan. One of my true Renaissance man, the co-founder of the Southern Heritage Classic, was the high school band director at Manassas for a number of years, as well as Westwood, as well as colleges. Kicked Isaac Hayes out the high school band in Manassas, ended up working for Isaac Hayes, part of the Isaac Hayes movement at Stax, did Watch Stax, legendary guy, became a righteous ancestor back in the summer of 2015. But we had a connection. It's like, you know, I knew Mr. Abel as a good dear friend and collaborator, and really a jegna of mine, Baba Emerson Abel Jr., Maestro Emerson Abel Jr. And so we connected on that because he played clarinet in the high school band. He told me how Mr. Abel helped him pursue his higher education goals. So he liked my artwork and he supported me. But like when I saw him this past week, I didn't expect him to come by my room. He came out of my room like death. He came late at night like death. Like he just popped up like death. I said, whoa, what's up, man? He said, yeah, but he looked at my toe right away. We're gonna cut that off. We got to cut that off. I said, wait a minute. We haven't done the MRI. I'm looking at it. But it looks better now than it did the other day. If there's improvement to me. And that was my argument throughout the whole week. But he was animate about being possessed about cutting off my right toe, my big right toe. And it's kind of like it was weird. Like he was like, it's like he was possessed by some type of spirit or something like that to want to do that to me without seeing any conclusive evidence to do so, without seeing an MRI or even an x-ray of my foot. And so it kind of reminded me of his obsession to cut out my big right toe, like Captain Ahab trying to pursue and capture and kill Moby Dick, the great white whale, right? Moby Dick, Captain Ahab. It was kind of like he saw my big right toe as Moby Dick, and he was Captain Ahab, right? That's why I was feeling them vibes. But every day, several doctors would come by starting 6 o'clock in the a.m. It was a Russian doctor. He'll come in, hey, comrade, I like your art with comrade. But the toe got to go, comrade. The toe must go, comrade. The toe must go. The toe must go, comrade. Like, he'll be the first doctor leading out all these doctors and med students come in that my right toe must be removed. But my thing was, I saw a lot of healing taking place in my right toe from Sunday and Saturday night. By Tuesday and stuff, I mean, like, it stopped discharging. They put me on a whole bunch of IV antibiotics, gave me all of these pills and stuff to use throughout the day. They put me on a whole lot of IV antibiotics, and my toe was healing. See, the thing about it was they want to claim because I'm a diabetic and I got some nerve damage in my feet, that my feet can never heal. But like I told the doctors and the med students and interns or whoever would listen, if that's the case, I've been dealing with nerve damage for several years. I drive cross country. I dance like a marathon dance. I could dance for hours on end. I walk 10,000, 15,000 steps a day on a regular. It's nothing to me. So I'm actually very active, even with my foot being at a disadvantage, I guess. And my thing was, if I did not have circulation in my feet, how can you explain when I get cuts and stuff on my feet that they heal? That means blood is circulating in my feet. And I know my body better than they know me. I met them last week. I've been knowing my big toe for 40 plus years. We are very, very close. This will not be a pretty breakup. But they act like it was just simply about just cutting out the toe and going about my business. No. Your big toe helps you to balance you as you walk. I would have to learn how to re-walk without my big toe. But then my thing is, was it necessary at that point to cut it? Because what their claim was that it was bone infected, that I had a bone infection in my toe, and that it could spread. And my thing was, when I talked to the student, the med student that was part of the medical team assessing my situation, I said, look, can you guarantee or confirm that if you cut off my big right toe, that it will stop the so-called bone infection from spreading to the rest of my feet? No, we cannot guarantee that. It's like kind of like I compared it to if a person has a cancerous tumor in their body and they go in with surgery to remove the cancer tumor, and then they get the good margins, whatever the area around the cancer tumor. It might be healthy tissue, but they want to take that just in case they didn't get everything. But it's not 100% guaranteed that even when they remove that cancerous tumor with the good margins, whatever they call it, out the body, that they got all the cancer, that they didn't leave some cancer in there. So either way, I'm taking a chance. That's called life. Life is all about risk and taking chances. I don't watch a lot of sports anymore because you know why? Because every day that you're living is a game 7. Every day is an elimination game in life. Life, every day, is a game 7. Think about that. Every day, there's no guarantee that you'll make it through this thing. all right? That you might get eliminated. This might be the day that you get eliminated. So think about that when it comes to living life. So I'm not afraid, because like Baba Dick Gregory still running background in my head, a free man has no fears. Throughout the whole week, I'm hearing Baba Dick Gregory tell me, a free man has no fears. A free man has no fears. A free man has no fears. So when I was talking to the doctors, when I was advocating for myself, I was not talking from a place of fear. I was not talking from a place of doubt. I was talking from a place of confidence put there by the Most High. It was weird. It's like, well, is this really me? Because I was the ideal patient. I wasn't a bothersome person to the nurses. The nurses liked me. You know, the nurse, shout out to some of the nurses, the black nurses especially, that looked out for a brother. They gave me extra care. I appreciate that. But the bedside manner for some of the so-called medical doctors, they need a refresher course. I mean, it was really awful that they'll come starting at 6 o'clock in the morning for 5 straight days trying to get me to take my toe off. And then they the ones that brought up that maybe could treat you for 6 weeks on IV antibiotics or some type of either oral or IV antibiotic 6-week treatment instead of just cut off my toe. It's like if you're a diplomat and you try to avoid war, the first thing you don't do when you doing negotiations is like, I declare war. You find other solutions. Declaring war would be the final option on the table. Like, if my toe can be saved by other alternative means, by all means, feel free to suggest these. Because it's my body, my choice. Now, it's not just for women, it's for everybody. Your body, your choice, all right? So this is what I was saying. And I didn't realize I was being an advocate that way. I thought I was just sticking up for myself because I'm in there by myself. I had people calling in, texting, you know, people I didn't hear from years. I had some visitors, you know, shout out to mom, aunt, other people that came by. Not that many people, but I had support. I asked people to pray for me as I had to grapple with the reality that I might have to make one of the toughest decisions in my life. But here's the thing. They did the MRI, right? And my doctor asked for an MRI on my foot months ago. I'm about to say decades ago. And the insurance company rejected it. Now I'm on my hospital bed and they do the MRI, but the technician does not take pride in his work. He tells me midway through the MRI process, that the image was blurry. I said, oh, my bad, because like what they did was they propped my right foot on a contraption. And as the MRI was doing what it does, the scanning, whatever it does, I felt the contraption moving. I thought my foot was going to fall out the contraption. So I was trying to steady my foot in my mind. And maybe I shook too much, or maybe the contraption was shaking too much and did not catch a clear image to really define what was going on. So instead of him saying, I'm going to be a professional and redo it, he said, okay, don't worry about it. We're going to do the second part where he injected dye into my body so they get a contrast picture, I guess. So God is in the details. I'm going to tell you why on that. The medical student, who was a cool young guy, he talked to me right before Friday because they wanted to do the thing on Friday, remove my toe. And he said, even though the MRI was blurred, I said, wait a minute. Running back, you mean to tell me that y'all want me to make a life-changing decision based on inconclusive or faulty evidence? He said, yeah. I said, no, I'm not doing it. And then he said, I suggested maybe I should do it over again since my foot doctor tried to get it done a couple months ago, but we were rejected. So maybe I should do it over again. He said, yeah, would you want to do it over again? And if it, and once we do it over again, he said he was certain that my right toe had a bone infection that it needed to be removed. So he basically was saying, you wasting your time. Not saying like that, but think about what he's saying. He said, we could do it again, and when it confirms again that you need to have your big right toe removed, you'll do it, right? I said, wait a minute. I don't care if it did confirm or didn't confirm. I don't have to do anything. It's my body, my choice, my body, my choice, my body, my choice, my body, my choice, my body, my body, my choice. Yeah, I know y'all get nerd. Oh my God, why you doing all this? I mean, whatever. I survived. I'm here. I'm a survivor, all right? So with that said, I said, no, I don't want to do it over again. Because at that point in my mind, I feel like the trust was gone. I could not trust these people to have my best interest. Because if they're willing to say, let's cut this toe off based on blurry images and whatnot, and they can't really conclude 100% or confirm 100% that it was bone affected, then I don't trust them to properly run back the MRI. Now, granted, they wasn't down in the laboratory when the dude ran the MRI, but my thing is, I'm an artist. I take pride in my work. I shouldn't have to tell you how to do your job. I'm the client. I expect high expectations, but the dude didn't have high expectations. Like, he didn't give a damn about his job. No disrespect to him. Maybe he had a bad day, but you're not going to put that on me. So my thing, the lead doctor on the case came in my room early in the week, and he was like the Grim Reaper himself. He was like Mr. Spock from Star Trek, very unfeeling, unemotional, because it's not his toe that got to get cut off. It's my toe that's going to be cut off. He don't have to learn how to relearn how to walk, excuse me. I'm getting all fast talking. And so with that said, all this came about. And thank God I had my foot doctor's direct cell phone number. I know he told me whenever I need something to call him, to reach out to him. What I did was first, I text him pictures of my foot when I first got into the hospital. And I wrote a summary of what's going on and what they were suggesting. Based on what he saw in the photos, he said they should not cut it off. It just need to be clean, like a debris or debridement. They call it debridement or debridement, depending on who you talk to. Like how some people say tomato, Roosevelt. It's one of those type of words. So debris. He said all they need to do is just to clean the wound. What debridement is the cleaning and cutting the tissue. Cleaning the wounds, cutting away dead tissue to help facilitate new growth. You know, that's all the debridement is, right? So he said, oh, that's all they need to do. And see me on Tuesday next week. I don't care if I'm booked with people. Now, that's great bedside manner. That's A1 service right there. He gave me his direct number. I bought him on his vacation time. You know what I'm saying? And he was willing to not only give his assessment, but also to talk to me on the phone. So we had a talk. And he said, no, don't let them cut anything. Just let them cut off the dead tissue and skin, and we get to business. And we could always do that later down the road. If your big toe got to go, it don't have to go now. We could always do that as an option down the road. But let's try other things. Even he suggests that I do a regimen of antibiotics for several weeks to clear it up. And we see what we're working with. You know, thank God for him. I just thank God, you know, that there are people in that profession that care about people. You know, how they could invest in people, not what they could get out of people. You understand? So with that said, I'm trying to say all this. This is an update. When they sent down the consent form to cut off my big right toe, I rejected it, right? And I told, what was weird, I'm telling you all this deception going on. I think I did a good job of talking about some of the dynamics. I'm not naming any names. I'm not naming a hospital or not that, but let the hospital be your last resort. We lost a lot of great people in the hospitals, and they still, like, we all just really in this society, we lab rats and guinea pigs. We just a big science experiment going on here, right, people? I'm just trying to help. I'm doing a testimony. We lost Baba Dick Gregory in the hospital. Some people say under questionable circumstances, the late great Steve Coakley was lost in the hospital. Stay out of the hospitals the best you can. Take better care of yourself, but things happen. But make sure you have a support team or advocate that really advocates for your best interest if you are incapacitated or have lost the ability to advocate for yourself. Have you a village looking out for you? And I thank God for the village, both living and dead, looking out for me. So what they said, I remember, I ain't gonna never forget, on that Thursday before the procedure, I said, I was animate every time they used to come in my room. I'm not cutting off my toe. I'd rather do a debridement, and I'll let my foot doctor look at it next week. So on Thursday night, I was eating my chicken Alfredo. Hospital food has improved a lot, by the way. Hospital food is the bomb. I was surprised at the quality of the hospital food. I mean, people always talk about it's so bad. No, it's actually good. You know, it's not as good. It's better than what I expected it. Because I never spend that amount of time in a hospital, no time in my life. I never had no major surgeries. Let's keep it like that. Or spend a lot of time in the hospitals like that, unless I was visiting somebody. But anyway, so Dr. Delph, my surgeon, my so-called friend, supporter, You know, he came in. He was disappointed. The way he came into my room unannounced, he just opened the door. I'm eating my chicken Alfredo. So you ain't gonna cut the toe off? I said, no, I ain't cutting no toe out. You not cutting my toe off. I'm not giving you the consent to cut my toe off. You sure? Cause how you doing? I said, can you guarantee? Like I asked all the doctors, can y'all guarantee if you remove my big right toe that I've been acquainted with since I was a kid for 44 years? I had a relationship with this big right toe for 44 years. I just met some of y'all for just less than 44 minutes. Y'all tell me to make this life-changing decision based on people I don't even know that well. And because you got doctor in front of your name and you wear a white coat, I'm supposed to trust you? I mean, butchers wear white coats. Butchers. And I told, I said, no, I'm not going to get it cut off. Just debris it, man. I'm eating my chicken Alfredo. Just debris it. He said, okay. I said, and where you going to do the procedure? Like, where is it? He said, I'm going to do it in your room. I'm going to tell you something about debridement. A lot of time when my foot doctor currently with him 3 years ago, they could do a debridement in their office. A lot of time what they do, they'll shoot a numbing agent in my foot, inject a numbing agent in my foot. And they'll come back several minutes later and start cutting away the dead tissue and skin off my foot to encourage new growth. And that's what my doctor was doing. So I said, it's okay. So it's not as invasive as they say. Like, it's not really that deep, right? But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Friday morning was off. So, like, he said, I asked him, when you going to do the procedure? He said, before noon, right? That whole Friday was weird and off. It was off key, like a mud. You know, I'm going to tell you why. The attempt on the procedure was not performed until in the afternoon. He said Friday morning before noon. And like I said, debridement don't take that long. Maybe less than 30 minutes, really, if you know what you're doing. And so the nurse failed protocol, right? She didn't do a proper protocol. She didn't do proper protocol. Like, she supposed to got me ready for surgery, prepping for surgery, even though I said I'm not doing surgery, right? She's supposed to be prepping me for surgery. And I ain't supposed to be eating or drinking anything before the surgery. And that was weird because I'm thinking I'm just doing a debridement, and I eat stuff before going to the doctor's office. They never tell me you can't eat anything before we work on your toe, Mr. Hurd, on your foot or whatever. And so I drunk some water. I didn't eat no breakfast. I was expecting breakfast, but she said, no, breakfast ain't coming. She even didn't get my urinal sample like she's supposed to. I mean, she did everything wrong. She didn't have the urinal cup. She didn't let me know I ain't supposed to eat anything, but I was weird about the not eating anything because, like I said, I was not getting no surgery done. Then she gave me some like them Clorox or body wipes or whatever to get me prepped to wipe myself down. I said, wait a minute, I ain't have to do all this for my toe. Ain't working. Ain't like this ain't that operation game. I mean, y'all just gonna work on my toe. And he said he's gonna do it in this room. I said, nah, he going to the operating room. I said, he said he was gonna do it. I asked him several times where he was going to perform the procedure. He said it was going to be in my hospital room. I said, no, we're going down to the operating room. I said, what? I said, here's the consent form. So the first consent form she handed me was one that said they're going to remove my big right toe. I said, hell no, I ain't signing that. I ain't signing that. She said, but I said, I'm not signing it. And she signed it. Client refused to sign or give consent on that form. And I made sure I photographed that form. And I videotaped her and all that stuff to verify that I did not sign off on this, and that she signed that client is not consenting to this procedure. So she gave me a second consent form that said it was going to be a debridement and excision. And an excision. So I said, well, I'm used to debridement, but why is this X word, an excision thing? Looked up online, talking about removing stuff. I'm saying, wait a minute. I know what debridement is because I've been through some debridements or whatever. But this excision side, they're going to be removing bone? Wait a minute, hold up. Wait a minute, hold up. So I called my foot doctor. I know he was on vacation, but man, this is an emergency, dude. So I said, man, they're trying to, first they gave me a form where they wanted me to sign to take out my big right toe. When I told them no, he said, no, do not let them cut off your toe. Just let them clean the wound, debris it. He would call it debridement, all right? And I said, hit the excision word, do not, only thing you need to do is get it clean, and I'll see you on Tuesday. That's it. And so that was like, thank God I got him on the phone, because this is right before they about to roll me down to the operating room. And I was really upset. I was hysterical in my own way at that point. Cause I'm like, man, like the games they playing, they misleading me. It's a lot of deception going on. So the nurse said, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. It's your body, your choice. You know, you don't have to do anything. So I said, I appreciate that. Even the brother who rolled me down to the operating room, he had one of his toes surgically removed at another nearby hospital, Regional 1, because he was dealing with a bad case of hammer toe. So he liked the procedure that was done on him because it helped ease the pain that he was going through for a long, long time dealing with hammer toe. But even he said, he was like an angel. Like, you don't have to do this, brother. If you're not comfortable, you have a right to say no. Your body, your choice. Your body, your choice. Your body, your choice. So I thank them. So even the nurse said the same thing. So I signed the other thing after I had before I had second thoughts about it. And I made sure I send copies of both consent forms and the video of me saying that I signed this one, I didn't sign that one, and she's on the video too. I sent it to my mom, my sister, and my aunt just in case something weird happens, because it was a weird day. But before that, I'm at Sister Thea's place, because like I said, throughout the week, I hear that voice, Baba Dick Gregory voice in my head, a free man has no fears. I decided to start praying and meditating not only to God, but also to Sister Thea. I started thinking about Sister Thea. I started praying, and I started listening to some of her music, because she was a musician. She recorded an album before she passed away, unfortunately, from breast cancer back in March 30th, 1990, at the age of 52, from my understanding. And so I started speaking in tongues to God and praying and meditating on the music of Sister Thea, when this would be around the same time I supposed to be having my surgery. So I felt like, it was crazy, because when I got to the operating room, I was not comfortable with the setup. Like I was like, what's going on? Why you got to put me under? Because he had like a team of doctors or whatever, medical people. They was all scrubbed up. They had me in this operating room. They had an anesthesiologist on standby. I said, wait a minute, you got to put me under the cut on my toe? We never did this before in your office. He said, that was my office, just the operating room. I said, yeah, but why you got to put me under the cut of my toe, man? Like, this is not what you normally wouldn't do with debridement. I just want debridement. I don't know. Cause my thing is, I can't trust them because they confusing me. And I'm saying, like, whatever they put me under, right? And they say, you know what? This would be a good time to remove this dude's toe while he's out. And we could tell him that, hey, I'm not saying he would do that, but I'm not trusting them based on what I've been told I would be in the room, my hospital room, with the procedure done. So he said, what if I wake up after the surgery and my toes are missing, or a toe is missing? And they could have told me anything. They could have said, well, we saw some problems when we was going to do debridement. We decided just to cut the whole thing off. So I was like, whoa. So like that could have happened. That's how I was feeling, because somebody's watching me. So that's how I was feeling. But he didn't want to answer my simple questions. And he said, okay, we're going to cancel this. And thank God he canceled it. He canceled it himself. So the lead doctor came back to my room. He thought that the surgery or procedure was done. I told him it wasn't done and what happened. And he basically, because he said, well, the med student told me you told him that once we start cutting on people, we don't stop cutting. And that's true. Once we start cutting, we don't stop cutting. So he told the truth about that. And I told him it was true. And so he said, okay, what we could do, instead of us giving you IV antibiotics for several weeks, we'll put you on oral antibiotics. And they discharged me several hours later that night on Friday. October the 17th, I believe. Is that Friday, October 17th? 15, 16, or 18th. Was it 8th? Friday, October 18th, 2024. So fast forward to Tuesday. See my foot doctor. He unwraps the bandages on my feet. And like I told them, I told the lead doctor before I left, I said, look, I get cuts and wounds on my feet. I use my feet a lot. I walk 10,000, 15,000 steps on a regular. I get cuts all the time in the heels. Like I had a foot ulcer on one of my feet, my left foot. It was healing, but sometimes you walking 10,000, 15,000 steps on a regular, I'm impeding the healing process. So by me taking a week off my feet and getting all that great IV antibiotics and whatnot and TLC, my foot healed with no problem. and other cuts on my feet healed. So I got circulation. I know my body better than y'all know my body. So when I went to Tuesday and the doctor unwrapped, my foot doctor unwrapped the bandage from my big toe, he said they was gonna cut this off. He was upset for me. He wasn't angry, he was professional, but he was upset that they would come to the conclusion to cut my big right toe off based on what he heard and what he saw. And so not only did he debride my wound or my toe, he did it without any anesthesia. He didn't have to numb my foot. I could feel the cuts, but it was dead tissue that he was cutting away. He wrapped it up, whatever. And then he did an in-office x-ray scan on my foot. And guess what, folks? There was no bone infection. I repeat, there was no bone infection in my foot. There was no bone infection in my foot. So I repeat that. So with that said, God is great. Maybe there could have been, and maybe the righteous ancestors and universe so God, and especially Sister Thea and Baba Dick Gregory, and all those people came to my assistance. So I just wanted to share with y'all that story. If you like the words from Brother Herb, please spread the word. Like I said, family, I took a week off my schedule, normal scheduling. It put me behind financially. If you can, please think about donating to the We All Be movement. If you donate to the We All Be Group Incorporated, it's tax deductible. But you'll find out the different ways to help out Brother Ron as I help you out, because the feeder needs to be fed so I can continue feeding y'all. So Sister Thea Bowman, God bless you. Baba Dick Gregory, God bless you. My grandparents, God bless y'all. We love you madly. Baba Jimmy Lunsford, bless you, because you want that festival to go on still. And bless y'all for listening and for caring, for all the support that's been coming my way. I feel your prayers. I feel the warmth. I feel the love. Keep on believing and achieving. We all be in it to win it, and keep on producing and pushing. One love, man. And let me also clarify, once again, I think I remind y'all that the foot doctor that was pro Brother Ron Big Toe is a Trump supporter. And the surgeon that was anti Brother Ron Big Toe, Big Right Toe, it got to go, was a Kamala Harris supporter. And it's just my way I see things. Like Baba Dick would say, once the universe put the magic glasses on you, you can't make nobody else see what you see. But the pro-Trump foot doctor wanted to make my big right toe great again. And my so-called surgeon wanted to get rid of my big right toe. Brother Ron Toe had to go. No, 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 no. And let me reiterate, I don't know if I included it originally, but it was interesting. I saw a green orb in a photo I took of the moon the night before I went to my foot doctor for a second, third, fourth, fifth look at my right big toe. And I remember seeing a green orb in the photos, or rather in the video unedited, that I took at Emmett Till's grave outside Chicago, Illinois. It was a green orb that was flying around, sailing through the sky near the tree where Emmett Till's grave was. And I saw a green orb in the picture with the moon I took on Monday night. And my understanding, orbs are associated with maybe archangels. I think Archangel Raphael is green or light green. So according to, from my understanding, the Archangel Raphael symbolizes healing and wellness and health. So I guess that was a good omen. Who knows? Universe, so God never lies. And when the universe chooses you, Sometimes it leaves no footprints, nor fingerprints, nor evidence. Y'all see how it works?